If your business is a different game than IT, you can get a managed service and let cloud experts handle the cross-cutting concerns, like security or compliance. Another assumption is that a managed service is only for the large enterprise, but that's not true. No matter if your house is small or very large, a good managed service should be like the cloud and scale the cost to fit your consumption. What kind of a company is a good candidate for a managed service? I guess I'm paraphrasing just a little bit, but that's the kind of question that I get frequently from various customers and other technicians that I work with. Is a managed service for us? My name is Magnus Martinsson and I work at Devoteam as an engineer, and I'm going to dive into the question today on managed services answers. In order to answer this question, we have to take it in two parts. The first part is about what kind of a company your company is. Is IT your core business? Is that what you are doing? Or are you doing something else and IT is just a means to an end, something that you do to get you where you need to be? And then of course also the size of the company. Are you a large enterprise? Would a managed service be suitable for you? Answer is yes. Are you not so large an enterprise, maybe just an SME company? Could a managed service still be of use for you as well? The answer to that is also yes. But let's dive into the details of these two questions and take them in turn. Your core business is not IT. You're in the business, you're in this industry doing something. You're creating a service, you have customers, you have a business, you're manufacturing something. You're doing something. And IT is part of what you need to do in order to achieve your business. Perfect. But IT isn't your specific business. So you need to consider, should we have all the people on staff for doing this business, for doing the IT business, the IT part of our business, or should we maybe consider getting help? A managed service could definitely be for you. In a recent study, I saw these interesting numbers that I really enjoy because they perfectly align with what I have been saying for many years, in fact. So if we remove the bottom ones that talk about migration and so on and so forth, maybe also not discuss software licensing here because I don't like software licensing. It's not my favorite topic. What remains at the top of the list if we do that? Well, we see that we have security, we have cost management, we have governance, we have compliance. These are things that, regardless of what business you do using the cloud, really probably are not your core reasons for using the cloud. You're not using the cloud for security, but you need your services in the cloud to be secure. The one remaining at the top of the list there as well is lack of resources and lack of expertise. And that's very interesting because right now in our industry, we have a massive problem. Everyone and their mother is going to the cloud for sure. All companies are doing it. And we have, of course, brilliant IT engineers and so forth working in our companies. These ladies and gentlemen have long experience and they know exactly what they're doing outside of the cloud. They can and will learn how to be effective, how to be really optimized and secure and compliant and all these things, building things in the cloud for the cloud. There are new challenges there. There are also new opportunities. There are plenty of new services. You may or may not have enough people to man all the stations in a cloud context. What can you do? Well, I'm here to tell you that you need to have the proper focus here. We're talking about whether or not we're a candidate for managed services, and I'm talking about skills. Because the cloud is commonly mistaken for being primarily a technical challenge. There's a risk here that we look upon this situation as a technical challenge mainly. That's not where the largest risk or challenge actually lies. The risk that I see the most, which is maybe it's there but not a lot focus enough on it, is the risk that it is primarily a challenge regarding strategic business decisions that we need to make with human capital in focus. So how many people do you have on staff that are IT folks? How accustomed to and comfortable are they with cloud? And all of those various concerns that you have to bother with when using the cloud. So if this is your business, you want to do business using cloud services. You want to use a cloud platform, you want to put IT infrastructure and stuff and the various services in the cloud. Brilliant. However, you need to focus on a lot of things when you do so. You need to be compliant, you need to be secure, you need to be financially optimized, you need to have a solid platform to stand on, you need to make sure and ensure that all your services running in the cloud are operated 24/7 and that they always work. Now, to be honest, these and maybe a few additional questions are not the reason why you are in the cloud. You need them to be successfully in the cloud, but they're not why you are there. So all of these are things that take away from your true focus. You should be focusing on your business. You should be focusing on the things that make you great, the things that push you forward, the things that give you happy customers, whatever it may be, right? Instead, you need to focus on all these other things. So all of those other things, those cloud cross-cutting concerns, are things that you could get help to achieve. You might choose one or several of these to be outsourced as a managed service. So if your business is a large enterprise or a small, medium-sized enterprise company, then definitely a managed service is something that is for you. So I want to talk about the size of the company now. When your company is in the cloud, you should, whenever you build services, whether or not they are in the cloud, in fact, you should really have a central place with reusable best practices, reusable components, and reusable other things, central teams to help govern things in the middle. I do like the values you get from you build it, you own it, you build it, you run it, of course. So if you build a service, if your team builds a service, they must also ensure that they run the service. That is a good notion. It brings good values. It brings really good services to the cloud. Okay, great. However, when you don't have maybe enough skilled people so that you can put enough cloud experienced and skilled people in each team, this has a problem of scale. So you have many teams and they all build services for the cloud. What they should be able to do is pull central value into their individual teams, into their individual services, such as security. Each team shouldn't necessarily have a security expert on their team. They should be able to pull value from a central solution. A lot of people refer to this as a center of excellence or a cloud center of excellence, even CCOE. And that's a brilliant approach to work towards. But if you're a new company to the cloud and you really don't have that center of excellence established yet, you still are going to need help. And even if you do have a center of excellence, you may choose to get strategic help from other people. So in that case, the benefit of scale is such that you get help from the outside, pre-built solutions that someone else created and put into your company as a service that you can then distribute out to all of your teams. That has the benefit of scale. So if you have N teams, right, all of them can benefit from the same solution and nobody has to rebuild the same solution over and over and over again. The nightmare is that team 1 fixes their own compliance, team 2 also fixes their compliance, all the way to team N, who also fixes their compliance. Now, N times you have spent energy and time and resources fixing compliance. You should be fixing compliance centrally. And that is a wonderful candidate for a managed service. Now, that has again now the benefit of scale. Solve it once and even solve it as a service and distribute it to everyone. Another central principle of the cloud is pay per use, right? So if you choose to, if you are only consuming a few cloud resources, you are paying very little. You're paying for only the resources that you are consuming, right? That's the premise of the cloud. If you use more, you pay more. If you use nothing, you pay nothing. But then you're not in the cloud. If you also, similarly, right? If you also consume managed services just a little, then you should also pay less for those managed services. which means that if your cloud consumption over time would increase, it should be cost effective, and even more so the larger you grow, to increase your usage of managed services, because you're not solving the problem yourself in each individual team. You're using a service to actually service all of your teams. And the more you grow, the larger your potential gain, if you will. But even if you are small, you should be able to also consume managed services at the size where you are. So managed services should be technically billed as much as possible, right? It's not maybe entirely possible for all kinds of managed services, but they should be aligned with your company cloud consumption, right? So as you grow, it'll be cost effective to consume the managed services in a growing scale. Even a small, medium-sized enterprise will benefit. In summary, what kind of a company is the right candidate for managed services? Well, if IT is a means to an end, but not your core business, then you could consider strategically, instead of trying to find enough people to hire and pay for all the time of all kinds of expertise, operations, security, compliance, instead outsource that and enjoy the result of other experts' labor delivered to you automatically as a managed service. If you're a large enterprise, yes, definitely, it's probably a really good idea to acquire various services, managed services, and use the value of them rather than trying to maintain having all these people on staff that you cannot find or that are expensive to actually pay for. Economies of scale does apply here, which is important. And again, finally, a small, medium-sized enterprise, these companies are also able to benefit for sure from managed services. You may need to be a little bit more careful how you consume it while your consumption is small. Have the conversation with your partner. Can we actually use the managed service even if we are a small company? The answer is probably yes. So now you know what kind of a company is the right candidate for managed services. Thank you for listening.